I look through Facebook Marketplace almost every day, just looking for stuff that people want to get rid of. I don't want to buy it, but if they're giving it away, I'll take it. Sometimes I get lucky, sometimes I don't. And this time, well, I didn't know what I was getting into until I made the drive out and picked it up. And fortunately, it wasn't that far away. Did I get burned on this one or did I do okay? Let's find out. This time I've got a Denon. This is I don't know what this thing is. What is it? It's an AVR 791. I have no idea what is wrong with this thing. It was up on Facebook Marketplace for free. For all I know, it could work. I seriously doubt that. Plug it in. Red lights, standby light is on, it turns green. AV surround. Oh, don't tell me this thing's gonna work. No way. No freaking way. I guess the only way to find out is to hook up speakers. AV surround receiver, it says on the screen here. Let's just try and blah 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 blah. There, it's on SAT mode. How do I change inputs? Source select. I'm going to change to the radio. Gotta make sure this thing's not cranked all the way up. Okay. How do I tune this thing? Gotta be buttons for tuning. Surround mode. Quick setup. iPod play. Dynamic EQ, master volume. Where's the tuning buttons? Is it these ones? They don't seem to be doing anything. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe it is broken. It doesn't seem to be. Those buttons work. Okay, well. Tuner. Well, maybe that's the problem. I don't hear any sound, but I can't change the audio adjust FM. How do I do this? Audio adjust. Ah, those buttons work. Manual setup. Speaker setup, amp assign. I'm starting to get the impression that that's why this unit was tossed. Because this got a problem. How the hell do you change the station on this thing? Do you need the remote? Maybe you need the remote. That doesn't sound right. Tuning presets. I think I'm on the right track. I mean, some of these stupid receivers, you need an engineering degree to figure the freaking things out. And some of them you need the remote to do anything as well. I don't hear any sound. Is it just... Now I know that I think 89.1, oh no, 88.1 has a station on it. Let's just see what other stations are programmed into this thing. I don't think any stations are actually programmed in. Well, maybe that's what, it doesn't have any sound. Okay. It tells me I'm tuned. It says I'm tuned 87.5. Oh yeah, that's my test frequency. Oh, there is sound. Oh, that works. Well, the radio works. I don't know how to tune it though. It just so happens that 87.5, which was the frequency I used for my little test transmitter, is set to that frequency. But how the hell do you change the stations? Like, you would think that you would use these buttons here, and they don't do anything. But if I go to menu, the manual set, auto setup, start menu. Uh-oh. What did I just do? It's telling me to connect a microphone to it. I don't know that I can do that. I don't have a microphone. Manual setup, input setup, audio adjust, information. I might have to look this up and see how the hell do you set the stations. It may only do it from the remote. That's what I'm thinking, is maybe there's only buttons for up and down on the remote, because these ones here, status dimmer, multi EQ, dynamic volume, dynamic EQ, restore, sleep, iPod play, zone 2 on and off, tuning preset, zone 2 select, on standby, quick select menu. I would think it's these buttons, but I mean, they're not doing anything. Okay, now I know why this thing was thrown out. You need the remote control, apparently, to change the stations. To program any stations in, you need the remote control. And the remote control was not available with it. That's probably why the unit got thrown out. They lost the remote control, or the dog ate the remote or something, and they found out how much a replacement remote was and decided it was just time to buy a new receiver. So I thought I scored well on here, but not if I have to spend money to buy a remote control to use the freaking thing. So I think maybe this might just go back exactly where I found it. It might just go back up on Facebook and say, hey, take this piece of crap off my hands. I guess I can hook it up to a monitor and see if other things work, but it really would be nice to be able to operate it. But you know, companies that do this crap, what a joke. You know, you can't do anything without the remote control. It's strange that they've got buttons on the front that you can go through different, like you can change your source, right? The buttons work because they do things here, but you cannot change your station. What an absolute joke. Denon, yes, suck. Well, I don't know even whether I should bother hooking up to a TV and see if the HDMI inputs work on it or not. It's like, it's just and yeah, I know someone's gonna say just get a universal remote and program a universal remote, and yeah, a universal remote might do it, but I shouldn't have to. I should be able to set the freaking radio stations from the front panel. I mean, when companies pull this crap, it's one of the things they're like, well, the Bose radios, right? Like that radio I worked on the other day to get the CD player working on. If you don't have the remote control, you can't even turn the stupid thing on. You know, so it's, I hate companies that do this. You know, I'm old school, I guess. I like being able to walk over and just press a button and listen to something, put on a record, select phono, change the radio station, and can't select phono because there's no phono input. Let's see what these buttons do on here. It's a sleep timer. USB iPod. Oh, now what have I done? I know I can plug a USB stick into this as well, and play music off a USB stick. But I don't even know if I'm going to bother checking that feature out, just because I just don't have any motivation to even proceed any further on this thing, even though I probably should. I'll hook it up to my TV and see whether the HDMI inputs are working, but I think this is going to go right back up on Facebook. Free Denon surround system. Come and get it. No remote. Maybe I'll ask $50 for it. No, I'm sure that's probably why it was free. But we'll hook it up to the TV and see whether the HDMI works. It's going to be a pretty short video, I think. So I may have made some progress with my Universal Telus remote control. This was probably the best remote control that we ever offered. Like, people that wanted to throw these ones out because the volume buttons needed to be reworked on them and get the new remote, those people were on drugs. This has got to be the best remote control that we ever had. This is made by Philips, came with Philips batteries. I got a couple ones kicking around here, a couple spares. When they discontinued this remote control when I was at the warehouse, this is probably 10 years ago, because we haven't used these remotes for years. There was a box that just said, take them, free. And there was, I think, 5 of them in the box, so I grabbed them. I would keep these as spares. I'm never giving them out to anybody. This is what I use on my own TV at home, because you see this remote control, you can control the TV box, you can control a TV, you can control DVD player or VCR auxiliary. But the number of codes that this thing here can work with is just amazing, and you can control everything. Like you can reprogram the channel buttons on here to control channels of other devices, not just the set-top box, and the volume buttons. So I looked up the code for Denon, and it looks like it's 35037. I can control the volume. And let's go to the TV and see what I can do with this thing. Whether I can change the station. Let's see if I can program some stations. Let's just see what happens. Let's go over and look at the TV. Okay, so not all the buttons are working properly, but if I push the menu button, I can select through different inputs here. Now the OK button, maybe another one will work with that. Maybe I should try another code, but if I push the enter button on the front of the receiver, if I go to say like, where are we here? Input select? Where am I here? Input select, auto preset skip, preset name. Oh, auto tuning. All right. Let's see this thing lock in all the stations. Okay, it's now tuned in the stations. Oh, well, what did it tune in? Did it only find one station? Oh, that was weird. What, do you have to do this for every station? It looks like it only tuned in one station. Oh, that's totally bizarre. It's got all these presets, but they're all set to 90.1. Well, I guess that's, I guess that's about all I can do on this thing. It's only picking up 2 stations, and they just happen to be the 2 strongest stations that there is, because they're both coming from in the house here. I got my little test transmitter there, and then I have another one in the closet that's picking up one of the local FM stations, which is too weak to receive here, and I'm just rebroadcasting it on 88.3, which is running at about 10 milliwatts, but it's like literally on the other side of the wall, so that I can pick up the local station on different radios in the house. So that would explain why those 2 are being picked up. One of them is coming from the other side of the shop, and the other one's coming from the other side of the wall. So they're both little like iPod transmitters. Anyway, yeah, I can't do anything. I can't get into direct tuning. It says search direct, but I guess there's a button that's missing, and this universal remote just doesn't have all the buttons it needs. So I guess I'm going to have to leave it at that. I'm just going to get rid of this thing. It's not really much value to me in this current state, where I can control the volume and change the preset stations, but even though I did a search and I have a wire, like an antenna plugged into it, it still didn't pull in anything other than the 2 really strong local stations. So I don't know whether there's a level setting. There probably is a level setting. I didn't dig into the manual that deep. The HDMI input works. I can't show that for obvious reasons, or I'll get taken down immediately. That one works. The other input I've got it set plugged into is Blu-ray disc, BD. See whether that one works. I'm sure the HDMI, yep, the HDMI inputs appear to be working just fine. I think this receiver, there's nothing really wrong with it other than the fact that it needs a factory remote to be set up properly. And a factory remote for one of these things is not exactly cheap. They never are. They never are. It's like when I was given a Sony DVD recorder a few years back, and I had to buy the remote for it. It's a great DVD recorder with a built-in hard drive and everything. You can edit and everything right on the unit itself. And great little unit, but the problem was, in order to finalize DVDs, you needed the original remote. And I had to buy an original remote, and it cost me like, I think it was about $85. Needless to say, I wasn't happy. This receiver sounds good. Maybe I will just put it away, put it into my storage unit, and just leave it there. It's working. I mean, everything's working on it. I think with the right remote control, it probably would be fully functional. So I guess I didn't get burned because they didn't pay anything for it, but it would have been nice if you could do everything from the front panel. But then again, that's how all these companies have gotten lately. You need that remote control. Without the remote control, you're kind of screwed. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.